Hello and welcome to this very special broadcast on sports today. 3.5 hours, 3.5 exact hours to go. And most importantly, the weather is good. If you search multiple weather sites, and the three I do is Met.gov UK, that is the government site and always gives you the best weather prediction. And go search Met.gov UK. Let me just switch the fan off because you guys keep telling me that there's a sun. So the site that I keep using is Met.gov UK, and Met.gov UK leads. The moment I do that, Met.gov UK leads, it gives me the best possible weather prediction. Okay, so that's something that one has to keep in mind. Number two, I also check is the AccuWeather site. So that also is a decent site, and according to both, chances of rain are pretty minimal: 3%, 4%, 10%. Now, 10% chance of precipitation in England actually translates to zero rain. Or even 40% chance of precipitation in England translates it to zero rain. Or maybe a passing shower. So the long and short of it is, it will be cloudy at the start is what we expect from the weather predictions. It will become clearer and brighter as the day progresses. In Leeds is what we are getting. Obviously, Dinesh Karthik will post photographs. Many others will do the same. And we will get to know, but more or less the weather sites in England get it right. And we have seen that multiple times. So we can expect a full day's play and expect a full test match going ahead. That's our point number one, because it's extremely important to understand what kind of weather holds for the next 4-5 days and how that can impinge on interfere in the result of a cricket match. We know what happened in the first test. So that's point number one. Point number two, if you go check the nature of the wicket, and from every press conference, every statement that has come through, it is evident that there is less grass. There is less grass. Now, some are saying that it is because of the nature of the Indian fast bowling attack that there is less grass. Some others are saying, oh, you know what, Headingley in more recent times has not helped the faster bowlers that much. So multiple reasons. Take Nasir Hussain. Nasir Hussain in a column for Daily Mail has written multiple times in the recent past that Headingley has not helped the faster bowlers that much. On the other side, Virat Kohli in his press conference yesterday said that he was a little surprised, in fact, to see the less grass or the amount of grass being so limited compared to what he had envisaged. And this some people attribute to the quality of the Indian fast bowling quartet, which has had a bit of a psychological impact on England. So clearly the nature of the wicket is another important consideration when you select your team. With less grass, despite Virat saying that the chances of changing a winning combination is pretty less, will India spring a surprise and go with Ravichandran Ashwin? Now, obviously, Ravichandran Ashwin is a match winner. At any point in time, if he plays a test match, he is going to be a handful. And if you take a look at the England batting attack with the David Malan coming into the mix for a right-hander in Dom Sibley and Zach Crawley, Hasib Hamid to open, you will see multiple left-handers in that 11. So Ravichandran Ashwin becomes that much more pertinent and significant if you add him to the Indian bowling arsenal. So, that's the other point that I wanted to make, that what are the conditions? What are the conditions that are available to both the teams, and how do you sort of prepare horses for courses? Because this Indian side has gone with horses for courses. In the World Test Championship final, we went with our best 11. That's when Ashwin came in. We went with our best 11 and not horses for courses. We dropped Siraj. We have changed that tack. We have changed that policy, and we have decided to go with horses for courses, both test matches in this particular series in Nottingham and at Lord's. So that's point number two that you need to keep in mind. Point number three is, you have an exceptional bowling attack, which has already dented England psychologically. The third point that I want to make here is the psychological impact the Indians have had on England. Jimmy Anderson saying that Jasprit Bumrah was not trying to get me out. What does that mean? I mean, does it actually mean that Jasprit Bumrah was trying to hurt him? Jasprit Bumrah was trying to hit Jimmy Anderson and injure him? No, that is ridiculous. Obviously, Jasprit Bumrah was bowling into the body. England has done that. New Zealand has done that in the World Test Championship final for a prolonged period. Neil Wagner has done that multiple times against multiple opposition. And clearly, Jasprit Bumrah had unsettled Jimmy Anderson as a result. In 2014, India tried that with the short ball, beat England with the short ball. If you think about it, Moeen Ali, thereafter Ishant Sharma 7 for 74. I mean, India did try the short ball tactic then also. Here, what makes Jimmy Anderson say that he was not trying to get me out? What does he mean? Obviously, no cricketer, and knowing Jasprit Bumrah very well, Jasprit Bumrah is not one such cricketer who will try to hurt you and get you injured and break your hand or break your head. Nothing like that. This was sport. He actually dented your confidence. Now think of the Australian bowlers. Think of the West Indian bowlers in the 1980s, the late 1970s, the 1980s. Now every bowler then was trying to not get you out or was trying to injure you. That's not the case. This is sport. This is gladiatorial sport. This is sport of the very highest intensity. And that's where I think there has been a bit of a psychological impact that the English have felt. They tried to do the same. Unfortunately, they completely lost the plot. The Indians made the most of the psychological impact. And even in the England second innings, if you see, at no point did India even go down the short route. They bowled full. They tried to get the ball to swing. They had maximum impact, bowled England out for 50 overs on a relatively decent batting wicket, which had slowed down at Lords and won a fantastic test match. So that's the third thing you need to keep in mind, the psychological impact going into the Leeds test match, which makes India the team with its nose ahead, gives India the edge going into Headingley. The fourth thing, 19 years back we had a test match in Headingley. So the two teams haven't played each other in recent times in Leeds, in Headingley. The last time was a great test match for India under Saurav Ganguly. And if you listen to Saurav, he will say that when the toss happened, it was a cloudy morning, green wicket, very different wicket compared to this one. Ian Botham at the toss, when Saurav Ganguly said that we are backing, Ian Botham was visibly surprised as to what Saurav was trying to say. Saurav Ganguly was batting because he had two spinners in his ranks, and that tells me that 11 wickets for 355 runs for the two spinners the last time India played at Headingley Leeds on a greenish wicket. Does that tell you anything that Virat Kohli needs to keep in mind going into this particular test match? Okay, so last time 2002, Sanjay Bangar and Rahul Dravid. Sanjay Bangar, very good test innings. Rahul Dravid, incredibly good 100. And thereafter, Sachin and Saurav just tore into that England attack. Even when the umpires offered light to the Indians, they refused because it was their period. And they tormented the English 620 plus, 628 for 8. And obviously, India had taken that match. And then, towards the very end, Zach, Anil, Harbhajan, 11 wickets for the spinners in that particular test match at Headingley Leeds 19 years back. So India will have fond memories of that particular match, something that I wanted to make as point number 4. Point number 5, and perhaps the most critical point for India going into this match, is their batting. Yes, we have seen Ajinkya Rahane get runs. We have seen a very, very good innings from Ajinkya Rahane in that second innings at Lords, 60. The 60 is worth its weight in gold. Ajinkya Rahane looked very good, some of the shots, and that 100-run partnership with Cheteshwar Pujara. Pujara did not look too good, but as the innings progressed, started to look better and better, and that's what Pujara is all about. 200 plus balls from Cheteshwar Pujara. That's where he played for time. He allowed the Indian innings to gain some stability with that 100-run partnership along with Ajinkya Rahane, and that is when the match turned. So the middle order, obviously India was 50 for 3 going into the luncheon break, and then Ajinkya Rahane, Cheteshwar Pujara, not separated for a long period of time, allowed India the flexibility have a significant impact at Lords. So the middle order, which has been a bit suspect, in this series, Ajinkya Rahane, Virat Kohli, Cheteshwar Pujara. Rishabh has got some runs, but more in the nature of quick cameos, except the last inning. Trisha, can you hear me now? Give me a thumbs up. Yes, good. Unfortunately, there was a phone call and the line got disconnected. You weren't able to hear me. So the point I was making there is the middle order. So with that Ajinkya Rahane innings and that Cheteshwar Pujara innings, the middle order has started to come good. Virat Kohli is the one who needs to come good, and I think Leeds could well be his platform, because Captain Kohli looked decent in the first innings after a point when he was looking uncertain, multiple edges, but he was ready to grind it there. He was ready to stay on, weather out the difficult period and play on. That was important. And thereafter, Virat Kohli's that 40 was a massively important innings along with KL Rahul's partnership. That made a big difference to the Indian total. Even in the second innings, Virat started to look relatively good. He started to look good. That cover drive happened, then that edge of Sam Curran to dismiss. So the moot point is the middle order has been a subject of real concern in this particular series. And that is the problem. The middle order has been a subject of real concern. Hopefully we will be able to address that point. Bowling has been exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. I have no problems except to really ask the question about Ravichandran Ashwin. England, on the other hand, 2 changes already, multiple changes already, and that's the big problem as far as England. Can the batting come good? I don't think the England batting has that level of confidence. So I will finish this broadcast with 2 things. One, I think India has all the aces up their sleeve to get that unassailable 2-0 lead here at Headingley and settle the deal. The moment you get that 2-0 lead in this particular test match, you cannot lose from here on. And that is a telling comment on this team's ability, performance and potential. The second point, when you have the opponent psychologically down, press home the advantage. If that means Jasprit Bumrah bowls another spell like that, so be it. I would want another hostile spell of fast bowling from the Indians, and that will do the job as far as the Indian team is concerned. So whenever the Indians come out to bowl, Shami, Bumrah, Siraj, if Ishant plays Ishant as well, put the English team under pressure from whatever standpoint. If you have to bowl into the body, do so. There will be verbals. The Indians know how to win this verbal game. There will be verbals. There's a lot of spice around there, a lot of intensity in this test match, and it is one of the most important test matches because this can to a degree complete Virat Kohli's mission domination in England. If they win this one, they obviously not going to lose, and chances then are they can then pile on the pressure come Oval and come Manchester. So in every sense, a very important test match. At Sports Today with Rajarshi, we will continuously build up to this. I will come back to you again at luncheon break. Rajarshi will do the toss. So we will continuously build this test match on Sports Today. Keep watching the platform. Sort of debate with us, discuss with us, give us your suggestions, your thoughts. We will analyze the game through